Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie. And this is trivia news. News and trivia. Boy, I love this night. Happy Friday. It is the weekend, the beginning of the weekend. Hot. Yes, we found out it was hot. Uh, Karen, well, no, Susan. Susan's happy. We had the whole popcorn thing in the other show. Um, and of course, we even threw a little bit of popcorn around. Yeah, I told everybody about the popcorn I eat. So if not, go back and watch. Go on back and watch. Um, California. Now this bill has been going for quite a long time, about a year. And my friend Alicia sent this to me, and she was very concerned. And this was on social media, folks, and it concerns me too. And what is this all about? California now, if you send an email or text to a school board, this has to do with school board, you can be sentenced to 1 year in jail and two to a $500 fine. Well, they didn't stop just there. Yeah, California decided that the First Amendment wasn't going to be used. And even at their board meetings, if you say something that offends someone on the board, you can be put in jail for a year and fined 200 to $500. I want to thank Alicia for this. Um, I would throw the bill up there and show you. It was dated back to a year ago when they first proposed it. It looks like it may have been passed. California, beware. If you plan on going to a school board meeting and raising hell, they're going to lock you up. This is freedom of speech, silencing at a communist uh, 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 oh boy, it's just communists, folks. Freedom of speech is uh, their attack, as well as the Second Amendment with the gun rights, as well as, you know, I think it's 25, Amendment 25, that if you feel your president isn't up to um, uh, running our country or abroad because of health issues, mental health issues, or any of those, that you can have them removed. Why haven't the Republicans used that? And now California is changing the laws that they're not even allow parents into board meetings to express what they feel. It just, I this really just chokes me up, folks, because I don't even know how to respond to that because I'm from California and I see my state, my home state, the farmlands being turned to dust, crackheads in a major part of these cities. I see laws being passed by Newsom that uh, it's okay to set a fire if you're Antifa. Because get this, Antifa never got charged with setting fires. Why? Newsom, really, Newsom? And then now this. The school parents are to be silenced when it comes to the transgender or even the critical race theory. And to me, it's the whole critical race theory because, if we listen to Alveda, um, um, listen to Alveda. She's the niece of Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King. We see that this isn't what they wanted. They just want it fair. The whole civil rights movement is just buried. Why? Because they want to twist the narrative. Um, and now and even what gets me is even Ohio. Now they had their special election, are now turning to uh, um, firing and letting go 50% of their police officers because they're corrupt. Now, when I've talked to friends up there, they said the police officers pretty human. They're pretty nice, but now they're going to cut them. Is Columbus, Ohio, going to become the next wave of crime? Wow, I just I'm at a loss for words on. Oh, see, Karen, I told you trivia'd come up tonight. I kind of sort of figured it out, and those that don't watch my first show, I am going to buckle down and I'm gonna find out what's wrong with the computer, even if I have to reset it to factory. I just can't. I have to do a program that is very professional. I have to put forth news without these glitches. Yeah. All right. So who's going to win trivia tonight? Well, I'm thinking Susan's going to. And I could be wrong. Maybe even Linda. Is Linda in here? Yeah, Linda in Illinois. Um, right there. Linda, I think you even might know some of these animal things. Some are easy, some are hard. Uh, uh, like um, I got this from a friend of mine, the Johnsons, and they set their answering machine to, um, um, when you call, some are in, some are not, some are on vacation. Yeah, some are here, some are not. Yeah, some are on vacation. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more vacation, but tonight's trivia is on animals. So good luck with this. We've already got it up. My sister Beth keeps missing it. She slept through last week, and Beth, I was going to bring my phone in, and because of Maui, I'm not sure if Beth has went to Maui or not, but boy, uh, the looks of Maui is just horrendous. It's just a one little town. Now that's what started with Australia. It was one little town, and then it swooped. Well, we're not seeing that. We see another fire going on up north of Maui, on the island of Maui. Um, and I'm looking into this. I'm looking into this hard. And like I mentioned in the last show, I had a woman got a hold of me, uh, and she knows who she is, and hopefully she's watching tonight. Uh, I don't mention names unless they say I can. And she was concerned and asked me, well, basically what's going to happen or what happened. Cars melted with trees that were okay. One of the big trees of the island of Maui seems to be okay. The rest of the island's gone. And it was heartbreaking to watch as we seen um, those in charge of Maui and the island say it's gone. The town is gone. It's all gone, folks. Wow, how often do you hear that? But when you're on an island, where do you go? Where do you go? So this California bill, I just want to go over it a little bit. Um, there is, let's see, the California legislative information. It's 3 pages long. This was written in, pretty much put out in November of 2023. So we're almost a year into this. And this is something they wanted to put forward. And what it is um, a California SB 596 school board. And if you love your children, um, you will need to flee. If you love your children, leave. I don't care if you go to Arizona, Nevada, or, well, I wouldn't suggest Nevada. Nevada is very liberal, come to find out. Arizona, we're not sure. But if you're going to move, even Oregon is even better than Nevada at this point. So look at if you're in California, get the hell out. It's only homeless, crack addicts, heroin addicts, um, uh, homeless. And Newsom, what is he doing about it? He's more worried about what's going on in D.C. When do you need a governor, California, that will actually step in and stop all this? Will it take someone like Reagan? Did you know that Reagan was a governor at one time? And so we kind of move on. Uh, uh, you know, the whole thing with Reagan was he saved California from the Democrats, and then they slowly took over. And then even me, when I left California to move to Arkansas for the first time, I was even saying, hey, I like these Clintons. They're young. And, until I realized from 81, in between 1980, 1981 to now, I now realized how corrupt the Democrat government is. They are working towards one world government. Now, last night I mentioned Schumer. Well, Schumer's now coming out today about he's saying the dark money, the PAC, uh, uh, basically. I got to pull this up. Because see, we were just talking about this last night, and then today, basically, what the Grassi and others have investigated him for is he was tied to 81 million from secret donors. It's the same thing the Biden family's doing. Okay, uh, I want to get into a few more. What about Ray uh, promoting this special counsel, folks? A chat, I really want to know about this because did Garland get to the point where he was forced to? He had no choice. Did he want to? And who is he going to appoint as special counsel? Would it be to protect them and what he has done? See, this whole thing is I was struck odd when it was Schumer and Garland and a few others that promoted this. Are we looking at a fair treatment, or is this going to be another Obama held prosecutor, Obama judge, a Democrat court system that's just going to cover all this up? So Garland and his investigation into Trump is it going to be blown wide open, or did Garland find a way to cover all of this up? Huh. All right. I'm going to get on with some trivia. I'm going to do quite a bit, and then we'll go back to the news. I need to set my news thing up. Um, well, maybe I'll even go into Bernie Sanders because you remember I mentioned Bernie Sanders and I mentioned Schumer. Bernie Sanders caught funneling large sums of campaign cash to his wife. Same thing they all did. They go and they make this money, and of course, they put it in to the hands of family members. Bernie Sanders has now been caught. And that's exactly what I said yesterday. How odd is it? I was a day ahead of him. Well, William would tell you they're getting their info from me. Sometimes I wonder, I don't get the views as much as others, but I'm a day or two or three ahead of sometimes weeks of what the news media wants to report on. All right, let's go. So, Susan, I got you. Susan and Linda, I think, are going to be the ones for the win tonight. Um, all right. Which member of the Beatles had a cat named Elvis? Some of these I've done before, so you better know them. I'm expecting my chat room to every single one of them know. Yeah. What got me was um, Washington State. William, did you know about this? The Indian tribes are now saying they want the Redskins back because it gives them uh, the prestige and honor that they are a part of Washington, they say. And that when the liberals and these college students took it away, they have no clue what it really stood for. Wow. All right. Which member of the Beatles had a cat named Elvis? Yeah. Let's see if anybody knows. Come on now. I had this one before. I recognized it when I seen it with the animal trivia today, and I thought, "Oh, I seen this," and I guessed wrong. Yeah, yeah, I guessed wrong on this, but and I can't give you no hints. And so we got Susan and Karen with Ringo. What Facebook? I know you guys watch the show. What about Beth and the few that she plays with? What do you think? Throw it down in the comments or jump in and play and tell your mom and your friends about us. All right, so here we go. Which member of the Beatles had a cat named Elvis? And it was John Lennon. John Lennon. And did I spell that right? Why does it not look right? All right. Uh, all right. So this is animal trivia tonight. What common farm animal doesn't have teeth on their upper jaw? I went through the whole thing. I was like, well, chickens, but the first thing was chickens with me. And I thought, no, they have beaks and they just peck away. No, no, no. And I was like, pigs or um, cows or, yeah. I had no clue. I didn't know. And then when I heard the answer, I was just totally blown away. Totally blown away. All right, so let's get on with a little bit more news because I got a lot of news. So, Garland, uh, my thing with Garland, folks, I, I, and I know I went on to Bernie Sanders after Garland, but Garland, this is really disturbing because is Comer, okay? He's the one with Grassy and others that is looking into this. Are they going to be fair? Or did Garland have a choice, folks? Did Garland, when he testified, and the GOP may have played this out right because they got him on the stand. They said, "What are you going to do?" And he's going to uphold all the laws. Well, is he going to uphold? Um, is he going to uphold what is by law? Is he going to do this right? Or is he going to put in a special counsel that is crooked? Now he's under the microscope now. Is Garland going to do the right thing or is he going to be paid off by the Biden administration on what they've done? We know that the Biden administration has given to Ukraine and China and Russia, Kakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine, $20 million. And they said even if it was only with Hunter Biden, if he knew about it, that's bribery. That's a form of bribery, folks, because they used him for bribery. And how could you go to a dinner with 10 people and with a Russian oligarch there and not know they're an oligarch with bribery intentions? And then you go along with it. Oh, I didn't know who was at my dinner party. My son brought in a whole bunch of oligarchs and Chinese officials and CCP. And yeah, we're just all having dinner, and I have no clue who these people are. was Jill Biden at the table. Now, Biden in his mind may not have known, but Jill Biden is in her right mind. This is what gets me. Jill Biden, could she be set up for, and boy, I hate to run this too long. Um, Jill Biden, could she be hit with bribery? Was there money that went in her account? Was there anything that said uh, uh, Joseph and Jill Biden? Well, they did have an office over in China in Beijing that was had their basically their name on the door. They had the keys. Can Jill Biden even be subject to bribery? All right, so let's get the answer to this. Boy, come on, y'all. We have 0 zeros so far. 0 zeros. Why do I say zero? Because it's a goat or a sheep. Goats and sheep, yes. Did we know that? I'm going to stump y'all today. What popular sea creature has the ability to clone itself? You guys are like, these are too hard. No, there'll be easy ones. Come on, Susan and Linda. I'm expecting you. Garland needs to be put in cuffs. Yeah, is this why? Boy, this is going to be a big conversation tonight. He did break the law, folks, and they were looking at impeachment with Garland. Is he trying to save himself? By law, if he turns over, he could, if they're going to go after impeachment with Garland, there's a good possibility. Is he now stepping forward and working with the GOP on impeachment by law? You know who I think they need? And I hope he isn't really too old to be able to do this, is Kenneth Starr. He knew the Clintons, he knew the Biden, he knows Nadler, he knows Schiff. Who's Kenneth Starr? He was the one that went after Bill Clinton. He knows the corruption. He's seen it. He knows it. He knows how they operate. He knows they're using the same little plan. If they don't get Kenneth Starr on this, and Garland don't, or the GOP, it needs to be Grassley, Comer, Kenneth Starr, and if you Nunes, and also all the information that has come from Rudy Giuliani, and I know he's in the spotlight right now, but he had the servers. There was 4 of them. The FBI only took 3. So, oh boy. Let's see. We got a sea cucumber, sea horses. Karen has no clue. I think I got you stumped on these first few. Yeah. What is the answer? And the answer is a jellyfish. When cut in half, have the ability to regenerate their cells and recreate another jellyfish. Did anybody, you're like, oh, come on, this is knowledgeable stuff. Get to the trivia. All right, here we go. On to the next one. A dog sweats through which part of its body? Come on, William knows this one. A dog, and I've had this question on before with animal trivia. A dog sweats through which part of its body? And you know, folks, we could probably talk all night on this Garland thing, because this is this is huge. When it came out this morning, I was at first skeptical, and I thought, you know what? I think he's really going to do this. I mentioned Schumer last night, and now Schumer is denied dark money today. Oh, no, except for he raked in 81 million from secret donors. Just like I said, weirdly enough, William's going to say, no, it's not weird. But weirdly enough, he may be sponsoring legislative targets with a super PAC that engages in just the type of behavior that Senate Majority leaders claims to disdain. 81 million between 2021 and 2023. And how much did he make before then? How much did he make off Pakistan? How much did he make off Kyrgyzstan? How much did he make off Ukraine? They were all over there. They were all in Ukraine in 2013. Not just Ukraine, but Iran. And he made many trips to Ukraine. I'm sorry. We have had the worst rain here last couple of days. And so I'm just all clogged up. All right, so let's see. All right, everybody, I'm going to say everybody got this last trivia question correct in our chat room. If you said through its paws, it's through its paws. Boy, you guys got one for, I think, 4. Let's see what the next one is. What color is the blood of an octopus? I've had this one before too. I was looking at it and I was like, I thought I had it right. And it was like, no. And when I seen the answer and I clicked on it, it was like, yeah. All right. So while you're trying to figure out what color is the blood of an octopus? Yeah, we got one for a color of a polar bear coming up now too. All right, so Jimmy Carter's family is now coming out and saying his health is pretty bad. And I thought he had died. Honestly, as a journalist, I thought I'd done a story that he had passed away, and I know. But Jimmy Carter's own grandson gives update on the former president's health. It isn't looking good. He is. He always wants to be doing something with his mind, so he keeps himself busy, is what they said. But he is really sick and getting older. It's harder and harder to see him as he is. My mom spends a lot of time with him, spends almost half her time taking care of him at a point just because. So it's really family oriented, but he is very, very sick. And that comes from his grandson, folks. So we could be losing another former president, Jimmy Carter. All right, so let's see. We got over for the blood color of an octopus. We've got blue in the chat. And the answer is blue. Yes. So everybody in chat got this one right. Why didn't you say green? I would have thought I said green. So I was wrong, but I suck at trivia, folks. All right, here we go. On to the next. What is Scotland's national animal? Now, I did this one I'm going to say 2 weeks ago. What is Scotland's national animal? Now, can you remember? Now, Just the News has came out, and they say the appeals court judges compare Biden's social media pressure to the mafia. We are now starting to see the independent courts now coming forward and pointing fingers at judges and DA for making wrong decisions. And now this U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals Judge Jennifer Walker Elrod declared court that Biden administration efforts to persuade social media companies may need to be removed, and throttle and suppress misinformation on many fronts of their policies. And I can't say what it is because every single one of them is disallowed, and it's a strike against me on social media. Um, a back and forth Thursday hearing resembled the Sixth Circuit Court judges and DOJ lawyers um, at a hearing last month and related social media censorship lawsuit against federal officials by users of X, formerly known as Twitter. Both panels were appointed by Republican presidents, echoing the injunction issued by the U.S. District Court Judge Terry Doughty. The Fifth Circuit judges repeatedly cited specific conversations from factual record and suggested social media companies feared legal consequences for not complying with the White House. So they were bullied by the White House. And this isn't the first time. I got more bullying that I'm going to bring up. So this administration are known to go about and bully people until they do what they're told. That's a dictatorship, folks. That, when I read that, that's the first thing I thought of. This is a dictatorship. When did Joe Biden become a dictator? Maybe when he was sworn into office. All right. Let's get the answer to this. What is Scotland's national animal? And the answer is, and boy, it's so logical. It's a unicorn, folks. Unicorn. William got that one right. All right. So, on an average, now you guys, it's going to be the closest. Whoever gets closest to the amount. We're talking hundreds. So if you go below 100, you're wrong. On average, how many eggs can a hen lay in a year? So this could give you the edge. Now, we're talking, like I said, hundreds. So you know it's more than 100. So take a guess. Put it down in the comments. We'll see who gets closest. We'll see who gets the closest. Thank you. Right there. Welcome, viewers. Feel free to play along in chat, whether it's in Facebook or in YouTube. Oh boy, I might get. Oh, I still got a lot. Now 3 years ago, Hawaii warned of man-made threat before this wildfire, and activists scream climate now. I can't remember if it was my sister Bernie or Beth that went to Hawaii. They kept inviting me. I said, "Oh no, it's radiated. It's radiation from Fukushima." And they were like, "Conspiracy theorist." No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't even think it was a radiation. The thing I noticed was the trees were gray. It's the same thing I seen California, Colorado, all places that's had some really bad. Oops, there goes my pen. All the places that had these fires, Arizona, and I started looking at it, but what I looked at was Paradise, because Paradise compared to it. Was this something that a type of chemical, a type of accelerant that was put in this area? But why just this area? What was it that was this part of Hawaii that needed to burn so severely it melted everything? Was there somebody there? Was it a mayor? Was it somebody that disagreed with the Biden administration? But why burn a whole city down? See, that don't make no sense. And but Hawaii did warn of a man-made threat 3 years, and they did warn of Biden. They said in 2014, the Pacific Fire Exchange that warned humans are largely responsible for much of the increase in the wildfire threat. So what I did is I looked through Antifa's, because Antifa started a lot of them in California, folks. So I looked through Antifa's kind of through all their different social media, and there was a couple that's been in Hawaii. But now, if you look, we had um, when Hawaii was siding with Biden and it was becoming more democratic, then or anything that happened in the Pacific with the U.S. with this military training, we seen either Russia or China really close to Hawaii. Uh, and not only that, but we've seen Russia around that part of that island many, many occasions. Not only are we're seeing increase in volcanoes. My thing is, why didn't the island with the volcanoes catch fire first if it was a hurricane? All right, on average, let's see who anybody got it. Um, we got um, we got Susan with 27. Well, I'm going to start at the top. Let's see. We have William 365, Linda 250, Karen's at 365, Susan's at 255. An egg a day will keep cholesterol at bay. Yeah, there you go, Karen, our moderator. All right, so who's the closest? Who is the closest? And the answer is 227. 227. I think that would put Linda closest at 250. I didn't say anything about going over. I just said the closest. So, way to go, Linda. Linda in Illinois got the closest. I mean, yeah, I thought for a second I thought it was 277, but it was 227. I almost put a mark down for Susan, but way to go, Linda, on that one. All right, so onward. Uh, uh, Under their white fur, what color is a polar bear's skin? Under their white fur. You have chickens? Ah, there she goes. Well, you count eggs? You count eggs? Really? How many? I thought about chickens, but I think the dogs would just torment them to death. Uh, all right. So, what under their white fur? What color is a polar bear's skin? And I think everybody in our chat room knew this one. Karen, you need to catch up. I told you it was going to be Susan and Linda, and lo and behold, Linda, you and William are tied for knowing are tied for first place with 4. Yeah. All right. So, well, and I think they all got this one right in chat. And the answer is black. The answer is black. I think they all had it. They all had it in chat. All right. Too easy. All right. So, which birds are known to be the only birds that can fly backwards? You guys got to think about that. Now, I know pigeons on the ground can walk backwards. When I was in Philadelphia in the early 80s, back when it was normal, and I took my grandkids there, and um, and sorry, my kids there, not my grandkids, my kids. I had to think of when it was. It was my son and my daughter, and the pigeons. They congregate on the corners where you cross, and they peck at your feet. And it says don't cross. There's cars driving by, and the pigeons were pecking at our feet. I ended up having to pick up the kids, and my son was heavy at the time. But I wasn't going to allow pigeons to attack. But no, this is walking. They're talking flying. Which birds are known to be the birds that can fly backwards? Uh, let's see. We might. Oh, I think everybody got this one. Now, we might have a tie for everybody playing in chat. They're really close. All right. So, what is the answer? This is great trivia tonight, folks. And I seen this. I knew this is what I wanted to do. The answer is hummingbirds. The answer is a hummingbird. But if you didn't have a bird feeder, you kind of wouldn't know. All right, which bear is known to have the bite strong enough to break a bowling ball? Now, which bear? There's all kinds. There's polar, there's black bears, there's brown bears, there's grizzly bears, there's bear. I watched a video today on some bears, and this mama bear had 5 cubs, and I thought something's wrong with that picture. And what it was is she was trying to get them across the street. Now, uh, a mile away, not quite a mile away, she had left one of the baby bears there. It just couldn't go any further. And now she's looking at 5 bears, and then it was down to 4. Well, she could get 3 across, but the fourth one just couldn't quite make it. I've never heard of bears as much as I've known bear hunters, and they usually do 3, maybe 4 on a fluke. Now, what I'm thinking is this mama bear took over for another bear and her babies. And the 2 that she left behind weren't hers. Because you could see her trying to move them over, but it wasn't like the ones that she had on the one side of the street. The one that she left behind, it was like haphazardly, like, come on. Uh, and then she left him. And but now, don't worry, they were rescued, and they were brought back to health. They're very healthy, and they were put in, I believe, they were either returned them to the wild or close to that. Um, all right, so okay, and the answer is, let's see who got this one right. The answer is the grizzly bear. Answer is the grizzly bear. And next, which land mammal has the tongue that stretches as long as 2 feet? Which animal has a tongue that stretches as long as 2 feet? I was way off on this. I was way off. Let's see if you guys can get this one. Because I was thinking snakes, and I was way off. Um, uh, um, Now, Biden it was um, uh, advised ex-Ukrainian. Boy, let me pull this up. Um, Ex-Ukrainian presidents against prosecuting political rivals. This is what Manafort is suggesting. And the more I've seen this, the more I truly believe this. Now, Viktor Yanukovych against pressing criminal charges against his chief political rival in 2010. Now, you see how far that went back? Remember, I told you it went back as far as 2003? Well, we have 2010 now. That goes way before this 2016 or 2020 or whatever. This is definitely when Joe Biden was, if you don't do this, I'm gonna fire him. the bribery thing over in Ukraine. But how far really does it go back? Now, I've had enough to go back to 2003, but this was 2010. And Paul Manafort, who served on the former Trump's campaign, is the one that turned over this intel. And it wasn't just him because it's on pictures. Go back and look. 2010, or what about 2015 for Senator Lindsey Graham? Because I don't care much for Graham because of this, or Leahy, or Dick Durbin. What about Klobuchar? The lady? She was over there too. And this was before this war with um, Ukraine and Russia. Now, get this. In 2015, Senator Graham went over and told Ukraine to attack Russia. And yet now you can kind of see why Putin is fit to be tied. Did anybody really know that? Did you know that Senator Graham went over and told the president at that time, before Zelensky, to attack the Russians? And then it was mentioned again when he went back with senators and basically expressed the same uh, advice to go ahead and attack Russia. Now, so when Russia attacks, it's all bad. But yeah, and you say, well, really? Okay, what they wanted was them for Ukraine to attack Crimea to get to punish Russians for what they had done. All right, so well, let's get on with this. Um, Anybody get this one right? Okay. Okay, Susan, you need to catch up. There's a zooming ahead of you. But the answer is, and everybody in chat did get this right. Um, it's an anteater. The anteater. I thought I would have you guys on that one. I didn't think my chat would know. What is? Oh, this is easy. What is the fastest land animal? Now, if you don't get this one right, folks, oh boy, oh boy, you're way off on your animals. What is the fastest land animal? Uh, so we see that we were over there early on with Joe Biden, as early as 2003, and not only that, but we were sending them money back then too. And it's only logical that we were sending money to Iran. But why were we sending millions of dollars to Ukraine to begin with? And it was all through, and this was before Burisma, folks. This is way before Burisma with Hunter Biden. This is when our own senators and congressmen, not only GOP, but Democrats, were going over there and they were funneling money to Ukraine. But it was the top elite, like I spoke about last night. It was all about making millions and billions off oligarchs. Why haven't they arrested Ukrainian oligarchs that were so corrupt? If Ukraine was so corrupt in 2003, 2005, 2010, 2013, we need to do something. And they started implementing anti corruption uh, uh, um, companies and policing. And there was three of them. And then Trump put in a fourth one. And then all of a sudden, we don't hear nothing about it. They were so corrupt since 2003. Why are we still giving them millions and billions of dollars to do what? Attack Russia. Well, they wanted to attack Russia a decade ago. Why? Was it the oligarchs or was it to make a lot of money? William Boyd, we got a good show, or you have a good show for Monday for this. Um, all right, so everybody knows this one. Okay, Susan, catch up. They're zooming ahead of you. Susan's not that too far behind. The answer is cheetah. The answer is a cheetah. Well, I'm going through these quick tonight. All right. This is another easy one, but it could be mistaken. Which sea creatures are known to hold a natural pearl? It's got to be the sea creatures' names, folks, uh, for that pearl. And you can go to, and I found this out when I went to San Francisco because I got one. And I opened it up, and yeah, there was a little pearl inside, the little sea creature, still there. I was like, ugh. Uh, but it was there. It was there, folks. And you got to name the sea creature, not the shell. So remember that. So if you're throwing in the shell, don't do the sea creature. Um, so now I found out that you can go with them. You can go online and you can order these, and they'll send them to you. And they try to send them to you fresh, so that you can eat the little creature. Ugh. Yeah, I went to one of them bars, and boy, those women were slurping them up. It was a bunch of us women that went, and they were just a slurping. Now I was like, nah, I don't think so. Snot things. Yeah, I just want the pearl that's inside, and boy, I didn't get none that night. So, all right. So the answer is, uh, I'm gonna get stuck on this and run late. You watch this. Uh, but we're getting to the end of trivia. Oysters. You said oysters. You've got it. You got it right. Remember that, Karen? Karen, hey, Karen was there. I keep forgetting Karen was there, and um, at Myrtle Beach is where we went, and that's pretty much where I met Karen. Dumped her friend, kicked her out of our lives. Uh, but when people drink, they do the dumbest things and say the dumbest things. And I think I saved Karen at Myrtle Beach. Uh, but remember that, Karen? They were all slurping them. Those women were. I was like, oh no, 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 no. Me and Karen was at one end, and they were at the other end slurping away. Yuck. All right. So, oops, how many legs are on the body of a lobster? How many legs are on? Now, this one that uh, eh, let's see if anybody knows. And if you get close, we'll give you the point for it. There's a lot of these. I'll give you points if you get the closest. So, take a guess. Take a guess. William is saying 6. Susan said 8. Don't change your answers because you could be close with your first one. How many legs are on a lobster? Now, I was thinking we got a lobster leg and a lobster and the little claw, or the claws legs, and then yeah, and then I thought that's the only thing I see is the front legs and the little pinchers. So me, I was lost on it. I said 2. Um, we've got 8. We've got 6. Uh, all right. So let's see. We had William was 6. Karen was 6. Susan and Linda are at 8. And the answer is no changing now. The answer is 10. So Susan and Linda are the closest. So they will get the points. Uh, see, I told you, Linda, you're going to do good tonight. Uh, did you guys realize there was 10 legs on a lobster? I said 2. But I was with the whole pincher things. Where's my sister Beth in answering this one? Okay, on with the next one. Um, I might not even get to the rest of the news because there's not much. All right, which lizard is known to be the largest in the world? What is the largest lizard in the world? And I was thinking Godzilla. That's the first one that came to my mind. God, it's got to be Godzilla. I was like, no, he's fiction. He's not. He's not real. So then I was like, yeah, Godzilla. No, it's not Godzilla though. Um, it's definitely not Godzilla. Come on. Was he a lizard though? Yeah, I mean, Godzilla, what was he? You know, throw it down there in the comments. Because I got to thinking about, was he a dragon or was he a lizard? You know, the other one I like, you guys remember Ultraman? He used to fight them weird mythical Japan creatures. Japan got so stomped on, there shouldn't be nothing left of Japan. But you remember Ultraman? It was the 70s weird Japan driven show. And he was like a superhero. You know, they were like, oh, Ultraman. Yeah. I loved the show. I did. But I loved Godzilla growing up. So, Ultraman, look it up. See if you can find it on YouTube and watch it. It's corny as hell, but it's a fun show. It was cute for young kids that are into Godzilla. You remember that show? Um, all right, so I think everybody, let's see. Um, I think everybody got this one right. Well, hi, Mary. Mary, you're a little late. This was some fun trivia tonight. It was all animals, animal trivia, and we're getting close to the end. Um, and which lizard is known to be the largest in the world? It was not Godzilla. It was the Komodo dragon. So if you said the Komodo dragon, you got it right. All right. The famous video game character, Sonic. Sonic is known to be what kind of animal? Now, if you don't play games, but everybody turn around and ask their grandkids. Sonic is what? What was Sonic? I know because my kids wore it into my brain. They had to have the game, had to have the game, had to have the game. And then, they got it and they were like, oh, guess what? We're on to something else. Now it's Xbox. Wow. There was Sega. Remember we had Pong? We did the Pong thing, and then there was Atari, and then we did Sega. We did PlayStation. Now it's all about Xbox and Wii. All right. Okay. So what was Sonic? What was Sonic? We And the answer, what was Sonic? He was a hedgehog. He was a hedgehog. So if you didn't get the answer from your kids, or you did, now you know he's a hedgehog. All right. What is the proper name for a group of crows? Now this one here, I didn't know this one, and I was thinking Black Fury, or I was trying to come up with something, the Black Knight, or it's actually surprised me. What is the proper name for a group of crows? Do we know? I mean, you can't even turn around and ask your grandkids this one, because I don't think it's very well known. But once you hear it, tell someone, ask someone, what is the proper name for a group of crows? Do we know? Um, I do want to go back over the California bill, folks. If you're in California, this is the start of where they're going to silence parents. And if you email, text any board member, you could be put in jail for a year, up to a year. You could also be fined $200 to $500. If you show up and you think you're going to go head to head with them in California at these school board meetings, um, and these school board members, and they're even taking it to city council, you could be put in jail for a year. And the bill is written. It was written in July of 2023. It seems to have moved, and it's now a good possibility of it being put to law. And I thank Alicia for that. All right. Did anybody know a nightmare? Well, Karen, you're close. You're close. I don't think anybody really knows. What is the proper name for a group of crows? It's going, folks. And the answer is murder. Did y'all know that one? Did y'all know that a group of crows is called a murder? Yikes. No wonder they did the birds and they used blackbirds. Yeah, maybe that'll be the movie for tonight. Watch uh, The Birds, the old Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, or The Rear Window. Find a really good, and I keep telling everybody, anybody went out and got it yet? Anybody went out and got that tub of Orville Redenbacher's bucket? Come on now. I want someone to get it and tell me what you think. Just don't. You got to go 2 minutes on a super high. If you got a microwave that burns real easy, go a minute at a time until it's right. But try it. It's awesome. All right. And the next one, we're close to the end here. And which animal has, oh, this is the last one. Which animal has a tail so strong they are able to stand on it? And I believe this is it. Um, and we'll be done just on time tonight. Uh, and this has been a great ending. We had weather and lifestyle news. We had trivia tonight. What a better way to end Investigator News Week? We've had a lot of new viewers, and invite friends and family. We have a lot of fun here. Uh, you may not want to hear the hardcore news that go along with it, but it's a fun night. It's a different way that news is presented. Uh, let's see. A bird's nightmare. All right, and the answer is. Uh, and the answer is the kangaroo. All right, so let's see. What do we got here? Um, well, I was close tonight. We had Karen and with 10. We had Linda with 9. But let's see. I got to put this. I got to type it in here. Uh, All right. So I was wrong. It was Karen and William tonight with 12. Way to go, you two. So you guys got to arm wrestle, is what I'm thinking. Uh, uh, we might have to do that live where we have Karen and William just arm wrestling this thing out to see who's better at trivia. Uh, so that that is it for tonight. And we had so much fun. And Karen said, and I wanted to bring this up because Guardian of the Galaxy is awesome. And if you haven't seen it, folks, go get it and enjoy it. Um, it's quirky. It's good. It's suspenseful. I've seen all of them. I went to the movie and seen the last one that's out. Uh, that's a great movie for tonight. Maybe go get the birds, and you'll know that a group of blackbirds is a murder. Yeah. All right, folks. I thank you all for watching. What a great week for shows. And if you didn't notice, we have a new opening now, and very proud of it. And we'll start using it. And, I like to change things up. But, I love my animal endings because it just puts a happy ending to the night. When you see animals that are happy or animals that could quite sing their own little song. Uh, all right, folks, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back on Monday with me and William and some great shows for next week. Uh, have a wonderful weekend. Get a movie. Get that popcorn in the tub that Orville Redenbacher's. It's out there. And put a little Parmesan cheese on it, folks. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Fill the churches. Get to church. Uh, Open up your Bible and read a text and point your finger to a text and read it. Might be meant for you. Have a wonderful Friday and God bless.